plane, when it hit the mountain, it hit some snow, and she's alive today to talk about it. And you know what they say? She cheated death. Wrong words. It was because Allah wrote, no soul can die except by the permission of Allah. It is already written in a book. It was written before we were born. So if a Muslim knows that nobody can die except by the permission of Allah, when your daughter died, when your son died, when your wife died, when your husband died, when your grandmother died, when your best friend died, when your imam died, when the scholar dies, you say, it is the will of Allah. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. It is the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And once we understand that, now we can accept death. We can accept death whenever it comes. I read the Quran, I read Sunnah. I have never found anywhere that suggests that Allah will guarantee us happiness in this world. When you look at our Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him, his father died before he was born. His mother died when he was 6 years old. His grandfather, Abdul Muttalib, took over. He died. His uncle, Abu Talib, he died. His wife, Khadijah, she died. Daughters of the Prophet, they died. Now what are we going to do when we have some misfortune in this life? Are we going to leave the Islam? Are we going to believe in the morning and disbelieve in the night? Are we going to believe at night and disbelieve in the morning? No. The reality is what the Prophet said in my conclusion. Allahumma la aisha illa aishul akhirah. Oh Allah, there is no life except the life of the hereafter. Brothers and sisters, our key is how we view this life. For me, in us, according to one scholar, Sheikh Jamal, I was reading your book, and you mentioned in this hadith that one scholar, he wrote that when Allah told the angel to write Sa'id or Shaqi, all it was one word, either one or the other. Now, brothers and sisters, we should want to know, inshallah, that Yawm al-Qiyamah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will enter us into our Jannah. And by the way, there was a survey taken by some social scientists, and they asked the question, which country is the happiest country? Who do you think they put number one? Denmark. How did they know that? And what was the last one? Least happy? Zimbabwe. And which is the richest nation on the earth? United States. And what place were they in? 16. Subhanallah. So brothers and sisters, I conclude with this issue. Sometimes it is not our condition, but how we view our condition. Sometimes it looks very difficult for us and very dark for us until we translate, understand, and interpret. I conclude with this. Our Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam left his wife Hagar and his son in the desert, and he went away. And as he was walking away, Hagar asked, Ya Ibrahim, where are you going? Where are you going? Are you going to leave us in this valley? He keeps on walking. And then she asks the question, have you been ordered by Allah to do this? He said, yes. And so she said, Allah will not desert us. And then her son grows up. He gets married. His father's not there. One day he goes away to work. Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam comes to visit. He asks a few questions. How is your condition? She goes on to complain, it is very bad, it's very miserable. Prophet Abraham said that when your husband comes, give him the salams and tell him to change the threshold of his gate. He goes away, Ishmael comes, he feels something. Did you get a visit? Yes, a man came. And he told me to say to you, Assalamu alaikum, and change the threshold of his gate. He said, woman, that was my father, and you are the threshold of my gate. And he told me to divorce you, go home. And then he married another woman. Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam came to visit her when her husband Ishmael was gone. How is your condition? Bi khayr. Alhamdulillah. It's good. Abraham alayhi salatu wasalam said, give your husband salams and tell him to keep strong the threshold of his gate. And when Ishmael came home, she said to him that this man had come to see you. And he said, give you salams and say, keep firm the threshold of your gate. He said, you are the threshold of my gate. And that was my father. And he said that I should remain married to you. Two women, same condition, different outlook. Our condition here in this country is great when we serve Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And when we serve Allah, no matter what happens to us, Allahu Akbar. Because we want to be Sa'id on Yawm al-Qiyamah, and we want to go to Jannah. May Allah bless you, brothers and sisters, and bless this conference, that we will take from it and take it into our lives and help us to be on those who will go to Jannah. Ameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Subhanallah walhamdulillah wa la ilaha illallah.